No, well, where am I? What's going on? Okay, it's another new day. Okay, what am I gonna do today? I need to write something. I need to get something
What are you
done.
doing?
I need to work. I need
What are you
to
doing?
do something. I need to get
What
something
are
done.
you doing?
But
What are you doing?
what's going? What do I have to do?
What are you
I
doing? What are you
can
doing?
do
It's not
something.
working. This isn't working. It's not working. It's not
I
gonna
can't do
work.
this.
This is never gonna work. It's never gonna work. What's
That's
gonna
falling
happen
apart.
to you?
I
What's wrong with you?
I can't do
What
that.
is
What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
you?
me?
This
There's
isn't gonna
something
ever
wrong
work.
with me. I
It's
can't.
never gonna happen. What this isn't happening. It's not happening. It's not
Something,
happening.
but
I'm telling you,
everything keeps falling apart. I don't know what to do.
It's gonna fall apart. Nothing is ever gonna work for you. It's always gonna fall apart. It's always gonna fall apart. It's always gonna fall
What's
apart.
going on?
You're an idiot. You're a child. You don't matter. You don't exist. You need to stop.
Okay, who can do that?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Help me. I figure out how to do it myself. I'm
trying to make this work. I'm trying to do something. It's not working. It's not working. Every time I try to do anything, this keeps falling apart. I don't know what to do. It never works. It keeps falling apart. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it work. I can't. What is that? What's it? Yeah, it's gonna fall apart again. It's gonna fall apart. It's not working.
Something feels weird. It feels like something's poking out of me. I don't know what's going on. Someone's behind me. Is that someone that opened that door? No, it's not. No,
something in there was going on.
Doesn't make any sense. What's over there? Is that
someone over there? Someone watching me. Someone's controlling me. This isn't gonna ever work. It keeps.
Okay. I need to. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on. Everything keeps falling apart. I don't know what to do. Is that? What's going? What is that? What's going on? 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 I need to relax. I need to calm down. I need to stop myself. I need to start over. I need to. Nothing seems to be going right. This isn't working. Something's not working. I don't know what's working. I don't know what to do. Okay, let's bring it back. I need to. Everything's a mess. I need to clean something. I need to stay. I need to make things make sense. This needs to make sense. Nothing makes sense. What's going on? Is that? What was it? Let me try to get this. Try to get that right. Just like that. What's wrong with me? What's going on? This doesn't make any sense. Hey guys, this is Chase Craig, and this is actually a very different thing I wanted to do, mainly because I don't get a chance to talk about my O.C.D. that much, mainly because sometimes I feel like I'm kind of over-exaggerating, and sometimes I feel like maybe I'm under-exaggerating, and I'm not really sure if it's like really happening to me or not. But I feel like a lot of times when people want to talk about the O.C.D, it's difficult to really talk about it because sometimes we start kind of narrowing into it, and we feel like we're complaining, and we feel like this isn't a real problem. Maybe we should just like ignore it. It's not a real problem. Sometimes we think it's worse than it really is, and being able to kind of understand it. I think for the most part, I've been able to find some sense of peace, and for me, finding some sense of peace is really just comes into being able to find some simple pleasures in life that I can be grounded by, as in a simple ritual or just a simple daily or life ritual, something you can look forward to, something that you can kind of just hold on to and it could be yours. Whether that may be a channel or whether that's just a simple routine that you do every morning, or being able to have a certain lunchtime ritual that you hold on to, that you just kind of treasure, and eventually you do it enough, and it gives you a sense of dopamine that uh, that being able to do that ritual, and then eventually it becomes something that you can kind of break the ritual, and your OCD almost seems to kind of heal itself. And I am a big fan of being able to find uh, some kind of relief to your problems without medication. I'm a big fan of being able to do that. I don't think everything needs to be medicated so heavily, but I also think I do think that uh, like medical science is important, and prescriptions are sometimes necessary, but if someone can be able to find an answer to the problems in their own mind or subconscious, or just within their own life without having to take a bunch of pills, I think that's always the best answer. And for me, that's kind of where I've been able to find it. I still feel like I kind of live with OCD, and just recently, my most recent like little issue that I couldn't quite figure out how to get on film was I got in the car and I was driving out one night, and I got in the car backing out, and as I was backing out, my as I was backing out, the wheel just kind of bumped over this little metal thing, and I was so like nervous that Brody had been under the car, and it just kept playing in my head, and this compulsive thought that just kept going over and again, and it's like an evil witch that just is screaming in your face, "You're wrong. You're doing something wrong. You're bad. You're always wrong. You're bad. You're horrible. You're terrible." And that's kind of what a lot of people talk about. There's that evil voice, and that's kind of what the evil voice feels like. It's like an evil witch who's screaming at you that it's all your fault. And and I kept having to explain to myself that I looked over and I saw the metal thing that I was hitting, and I had to adjust the car. So I knew that Brody was not under the car, but the compulsive thought just kept coming back, and I had to keep uh, I had to keep telling myself. And for me, it's always a repetition of threes, and I had to keep telling myself again, and then figuring it out, and I had to keep like slowly spelling it out how I know that Brody was not under the car. And I had explained this to myself like I was explaining it to that evil witch who lived in my head. I'm not calling anyone an evil witch. I'm saying there's an evil witch in my mind. And that's kind of what that feels like. And a lot of times these little rituals that we tend to do, um, I think like sometimes there's this feeling of 1,000 nails on the inside of our brain or skin that's poking out very slowly and peeling our skin off very slowly, and our skin is just stretching like that. That's kind of what that feels like, a million needles poking out through our skin at once. And doing some sense of repetition like, is a good way to kind of relieve that anxiety. Although anxiety doesn't really have a thing with me, although maybe it does, but I'm able to find some sense of peace when I find something in life that can ground me, something in life, in my daily routine that I can expect, that I can look forward to, and that just eases the anxiety, and I can live with more of a productive OCD. Anyway, I've been ranting for a long time. This is supposed to be my outro. If you guys can like this video, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.